To celebrate Slider Sunday all season long, King's Hawaiian is giving away $1 million in a trip to the big game to one lucky winner. Just go to KingsHawaiianShowdown.com to enter to win. Earn more entries by playing fun games, voting on your favorite sliders, and discovering delicious game day recipes. That's KingsHawaiianShowdown.com for your chance to win $1 million. KingsHawaiianShowdown.com.
Did you know you can advertise on podcasts?
Don't act like you're not impressed.
Find out more at podvertise.com.au. That's podvertise with an s.com.au. Oscars.
Fortunately for them, their DJ neighbour Matt Burgess couldn't sleep.
My nine, Jared Walsh, lovely bloke. He's been around for ages.
Oh, mate.
Jared, I love him. He's a great guy.
And world tennis number 3 Andy Martins had to, Andy Murray even.
Well, with massive thanks to our sponsors, Con and Lena at the Brighton Trophy Centre, Shifty Lizard Brewing, Mind in Movement Physio, and the Odd Sock Mob. There's a real pep in our step. We're back in the studio.
Oh, this is exciting.
It's a real different vibe when we're in here as opposed to looking at each other through a Zoom screen.
The energy's here. We'll get to a controversy in a second. I think we need to have a controversial chat about some of our sponsors, boys. But it is great to be back because we went through a lot trying to get the last round to air, which was a half an hour round. I was in a hotel room in Canberra. I'll be honest, I was pretty hungover. And as soon as
You certainly didn't tell us that at the time.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, I reckon I can only do 30 minutes. So then I went and had a sleep and then worked at the cricket.
Is that why Alyssa was doing the game after you because they got rid of you?
No. But
Did you get fired?
Funnily enough, the other MC called in sick just as I was landing back in Adelaide.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've got something very interesting to tell you about the cricket soon, boys. You are going to love the insight that I give you. It's nothing that can make me lose my job.
That's good then.
But the insight is fascinating into international cricket. But it is good to be back. We can hear the intro. A lot of people, it's behind the curtain stuff. Hey, Odd Sock Mob, they haven't sent you socks yet. I reckon we bin them as sponsors.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Anyway, they did very good work in the community as well. Yeah.
Well, we haven't got any socks yet for you boys. We got some when I was working in radio. From,
do they have an address to send it to?
Wookie. Oh, yeah.
Do they know anything about it? Just pops up. Oh, here they are. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Well, but I think that we are kind of diluting the valued sponsors. I mean, Con at Brighton Trophy Centre and Lena, it's an aggressive start, isn't it?
It really is. You're going
Are you sure you're not hungover now?
Nah, and what would be really awkward is if once we send this podcast live, then right on the doorstep of Oddcast, I hear your socks, guys. How are you, boys?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I'm all right.
I can tell you what, Jared's that excited he's wearing 2 pairs of headphones.
Oh, yeah.
He's got his Chancellor Rapper pre-NBA game headphones around his neck.
I'll take a photo.
And then he's got his Ozcast Network ones on his head.
You know why? I'll just take a quick snap. How can you follow us on the socials?
At Best Team Men on Instagram and Twitter, and then facebook.com/Best Team Men.
Yeah, so I was walking around Rundle Mall because I've been sent on a mission buying birthday presents for my missus. She's one of those selfish people that was born a couple of days before Christmas.
Yeah, that's rough.
Does she like that?
I don't know. It's not about her. I don't like it. Because what happens, and tell me if your partners do the same thing. Now, I just get a list of stuff. Like, here's the stuff I like. You can just pick some of that stuff, which initially you look at it and go, all right, mate, relax, because it takes a couple of days to get through the bloody list. But then I kind of thought before, while I was going through page number 77, I thought at least I'm getting her stuff that she likes. Because I remember once when my mum and dad, like before they separated, my dad once got my mum for Christmas a sprinkler for the garden. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? Like, that's a shit present.
I could nearly top that. So my Nana and Pa, who aren't with us anymore,
God,
they they weren't.
What a start to this episode, guys.
They weren't the best. They weren't the best at giving presents.
Yeah.
And I remember one Christmas, my dad, their son, they gave him a ceramic hot dog money box.
Well, that actually
quite ties in with the branding of your dad and the dog.
Yes.
Sorry, Dad, I'll walk that one in.
Jared, do you mind if we high five that one?
Yeah.
Oh, look at these two.
At a distance,
Look at these two.
Oh, it's so good.
Side note, can we? Well, we're not going to talk about my partner. That's right.
No,
but-
do it. What do you do? Do you get lists and stuff?
When's her birthday?
Well, Yaz is actually really good. Like, I'm smack bang in the middle of June, so happy days every 6 months. There's a party. You know? But she's really good. She goes out and I don't have to tell her what I want. And then she comes back with some sort of surprise. But she has a real trouble giving it to me on the day, if you know what I'm saying, the presents.
Yeah.
So so when I say presents, I mean
Her presence.
yeah, her presents. She can't give a gift on the day. She gets too excited and gives it to me a week earlier. The presents.
Her presence. Oh, what a start.
Deja vu.
But what actually popped in my mind when you boys are talking? Can we talk about Flipper?
The dolphin.
Hey, now, Andy, I was just about to say, hey, we know a guy who's a real tight ass, and you've just got, can we talk about Flipper?
Yeah, I mean, can we talk about F. Lipper?
Yeah, so Flipper is, let's just call him Flipper just in case people can't really
Wayne
make
Phillips.
it. Okay.
W. Phillips. Or Wayne P. Is anyone, if you want to cover it
Yeah,
up?
so I'll leave the best part of the story to you because you'll be able to tell it perfectly about how much he... Oh, wait, don't you know the story you're going to tell?
Yeah, I do kind of, but are we talking about the boardroom or the present to his wife?
The present to his wife.
Okay.
Yes. So he is quite frugal, which is another word for being a tight ass. So things like he has an IKEA T-shirt in the back of his car. So when he travels, he goes and parks in the IKEA staff car park with the IKEA T-shirt. But he's an amazing guy. He's just very quirky, as in like I was at the football a couple of years ago, and this was like an afternoon game, and he's like, mate, do you mind standing up just to observe a moment's silence? And I've looked around and I'm thinking, wait, someone passed away. What's going on here? I'm like, yeah, no worries. Because you don't want to be disrespectful.
Yeah, that's right.
So I've stood up and I'm watching it. Like I'm thinking, nobody at Adelaide Oval is standing up observing a moment's silence. This is really weird. So it's just Wayne and myself in the room, just behind the riverbank stand goals for a minute. I mean, what's going on here?
He stuck it out for a full minute.
Yeah. Then he sat down and he said, thank you. And mate, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but what just happened? He's like, well, if you notice the time, it's 1:59, and that's what I made on debut for Australia.
Oh, my God.
Like, are you serious?
What a build up.
That's not bad by him. I don't mind that.
He loves the mullet. He signs off with a dolphin emoji, so you know that it's Flipper. And
You know what? I did wonder about that whenever he'd send me texts, and I was like, this guy's weird. He's a great guy, but he's a bit quirky.
Okay, Christmas present.
Yeah. No, you say.
Okay.
I'm going to miss out on detail that were important.
So, allegedly, the story goes that he purchased something from, I think, a department store for...
Target.
Okay. This is the most defamatory podcast we've done. It is so good being back in here.
It's just a different energy in there.
It's not like you say a joke and then you wait 3 seconds for someone to laugh and then you just talk over one another. So there's like this thing that he bought from that department store. There is, it comes in a set of 5 to make the set.
Right.
But he got it cheap because one of the pieces was missing. So he gave it to his partner and then she said, sorry, like I appreciate the thought, I appreciate the gift, but this is missing a piece. It's supposed to come in a set of 5, but it's a set of 4. And his response was, oh, so you're being ungrateful, are you?
Yeah. It was like a coffee table. Had 3 legs.
It couldn't function without the last piece.
I know he's great though. He loves being like on the microphone, and he loves the fact that he made 159 on debut.
Well, obviously, if he's making you stand there for a minute, silence.
Yeah, but he's got some great cricket stories, and he told me one of these things, which can actually lead into this experience that I had at the cricket. So he told me that you may notice now, before COVID, a lot of cricketers don't walk around the boundary and sign autographs anymore. They just take selfies. And that's because the gambling is so rife in international cricket. What people will do, especially in the subcontinent, is around the boundary, they're holding a photo of you for you to sign. So say if it's a Steve Smith, they're holding a photo of Steve Smith and he looks at it and it's actually got instructions on there from betting agencies or bookies.
Wow.
And some of the things that they bet on now are like what side of their hat will Glenn Maxwell be wearing his sunglasses on? Will he have them on the front of his hat or the back of his hat?
So real obscure.
Very
legs.
obscure.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I was told when I was away, that there was an international match a couple of years ago in Australia where the cameraman was just panning around and looking at people, and he noticed a guy with 3 phones. So holding on to 3 phones, just sitting there, and it was like he was commentating into the phone. And my question was, okay, so is he going to get into trouble because of the broadcast rights? Because a lot of people at the cricket, this is the thing I noticed, they're FaceTiming their family in India. So they're actually filming the whole game on FaceTime in India because it's nuts. Like cricket is their religion. If you think there's 1 billion people in India and they come from very low income areas, so they're watching the cricket. That's their happiness, right?
I remember hearing Sachin Tendulkar had to take his kids to the playground at night time.
Yes.
Because he would just get mobbed.
Yeah, so Sachin Tendulkar is a cricketer, Andy. Like they called him, they called him the little master. Like this guy, the best in the world until Virat Kohli's kind of. Oh, he's on par now, right? But anyway, he's that big in India. He said to Shane, I think it was Shane Warne once, hey, do you want to come for a ride in my Ferrari? He's like, no worries, I'll pick you. No, it was Brett Lee. I'll pick you up at 4. He's like, yep, no worries. And Brett Lee, it got to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. He's going, what's going on? Where are you? Where are you? And he's contacted Sachin, who said, mate, no, 4 a.m. I can't be seen in public at 4 p.m. because everyone will just follow him.
That's crazy.
Like, it's ridiculous. I had, like, the fans were going to the hotel following the team bus. It's nuts. So back to this guy on the 3 phones. They had someone go and take him and evict him from the venue straight away.
Oh,
and I'm thinking, hold on, what's he doing? He's just FaceTiming his phone. Turns out that the delay from the TV broadcast from the stadium was about 15 seconds back into India. Oh. So he was actually saying to bookies, wicket just then, Glenn Maxwell out. Then it would happen on TV in India. So they could get bets in within that 15-second window.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
How nuts
I'm
is
moving
that?
to India. Yeah. We still lose our multi.
I know. That's crazy, isn't it, man? You see, like, all of these, the fans are that obsessed.
Yeah.
It was amazing to witness and just to see all that. They just absolutely love being on the big screen because I said to you last episode that they think it's going back onto broadcast, but it's not. It was an incredible experience. But to see, we must take that for granted because they live and breathe that. That is, they can sit there all day. I don't reckon I could sit there through a whole test match and watch every ball.
No. Well, you can't even sit through a T20. I was watching the game the other night. Listen to this. I was watching the game on TV and a guy for India named Jadeja was absolutely crushing him. Like he hit 45 runs off of about 15 balls.
Yeah.
And I sent Jared a message. I go, Jadeja, wow. And Jared wrote back, what's he done?
He was there.
Here I am trying to have a chat with my mate about the game that's going on.
And I was there.
And he goes, I'm not even watching.
The most difficult thing was the best player for India. His surname was Panja, but his first name is Hard Dick. So,
what? No way.
Yeah,
hang on, we've got a game about this later.
Sorry.
Sportsman.
So I'm on the big screen at the end going, let's talk about some of the plays of the day. What about Hard Dick? Panja, he was great. Jeez, the Indians love Hard Dick, don't they? And that's so difficult. I told you about that soccer player whose name was Mardikian.
Yeah.
And then there's an infamous photo of South Africa playing the West Indies in the World Cup, I think. 2 players next to one another. And the South Africans player was De Kock and he's standing next to Ramden from the West Indies. So it says together it's De Kock Ramden.
Well, now I've got something to talk to you because on Friday I was in an Uber and I was driving home from Ozcast.
Yeah.
And
Party.
and the guy's like, "Did you like?"
Wait, you were in an Uber and you were driving. Are you an Uber driver?
Podcasting is a tough industry, guys. Not much money to be made just yet. No, I was in the back of an Uber and he was like, we were having a great old time just chatting about stuff with our face masks on. It was
Yeah.
And
Am I talking to Kenny from South Park?
he goes, "Oh, do you like cricket?" And I was like, "Oh, oh, yeah, I'd like
It's
to.
like, is this
I'd
a
like-
setup? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'd like to. Well, I just wanted to keep the conversation going. I don't want to seem like I was uncool. And because he was really like passionate about asking me this question, like, man, this is the next step in our relationship here.
Yeah.
Like he's going to lock me into his family for a bit.
Yeah.
And he goes, do you like cricket? And I was like, I like to keep up to date with it. Yeah. What are they had a game last week, didn't they? Because I was trying to think of what you've told me, what Jared's told me from the game.
You're like, where have I seen Jared on social media lately?
If Andy ever asks me a question about sport, I'll stitch him up straight away. I'll send him the wrong information and say, far out, Dustin Martin bowled well.
Because I had a mind blank because I was like, was it India or Sri Lanka that played last week?
No.
And so I didn't want to say anything, so I just kept it all basic. I was like, oh, yeah, I'd like to keep it up to date. I think they played last week, didn't they? And like, it's such a broad question about if I like cricket or not. And I just asked him if they've played cricket last week.
Yep.
And he stopped talking and it was silent for the rest of the drive home. It was awkward as. But now I can talk about my dick being hard, so that's good.
All you had to do is when he said, do you like cricket, just say, well, actually, I am in a podcast that's ranked number 187th in the cricket
God
chart.
damn it.
There you go.
And I've just released that information to you guys 2 days earlier.
Yeah, you should have known that. Do you know,
Man.
I have a similar story, actually. It was when India played Pakistan here in the World Cup at Adelaide Oval.
I couldn't do that game. I was supposed to do that game, but I couldn't do it. Matt de Groot ended up coming over to do it because I had to work at Adelaide
rough.
United. And this is like, the crowd was the
Insane.
biggest you'd ever have.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
crazy.
insane. And
They would have eaten him alive.
I hope not.
What do you mean? That
Like,
would have been
'cause
quite
you're way
graphic.
better.
Hungry.
No.
Come on, mate.
Come on, mate.
It was, and I remember it was on a Sunday. It was a Sunday game, and I was in town on the Saturday night, and I jumped in a cab, and same deal. This guy was asking me if I was going to the cricket and if I got around cricket, and I said, "Where are you from?" And he said, "I'm from India." And so I said, "Oh, mate, you going to win tomorrow or what?" And he goes, "Ha, mate, it's already fixed." He goes, "We've won." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, it's match fixing. We already know we're going to win.
That's crazy.
There's players who have played soccer that I know in other countries,
China.
like in
China. I know the story. It's China, guys.
and in some of those matches, it is fixed pre-match that it's
That's
like
insane, isn't it?
And he watched his teammates basically just concede goals and like they've allowed the striker to get into the box and like, you know what, I might just double foot this bloke. And it's nuts. I had an Indian experience too with a player. So
Sorry.
Okay.
In the last
Go
minute,
on.
it's been a striker in a box, and then you had an experience with the player.
Hard Dick
Amazing.
Pena, yeah. So my wife and I were on our wedding anniversary.
Yeah, here we go.
And we were staying at the Intercontinental. We just had a night there, but the Indian team was staying there. And there's a fast bowler. His name's Ishant Sharma, like one of the best fast bowlers in the world at the time.
He had a good main as well.
Great main.
Yeah.
And we were in the taxi and he was walking out. The taxi driver was, I believe, Indian, and India weren't playing well at the time. And we're like, oh, this is Ishant Sharma, let's ask for a photo. And I don't usually ask for photos, but I'm like, no, I'll just do it. So do you mind if I have a photo? I was lovely to him because, he didn't know me. I didn't know him. He's like, great. We got in the car and then the drivers picked us up and we're like, that was Ishant Sharma. And then the drivers blown down the window and we're thinking, this is awesome because Indians love their cricket.
Yeah.
The fact is they were playing pretty poorly. So the driver went and said, hey, Sharma, you are shit. And then there's me and Gabby in the back going, thanks for the photo.
I reckon one of the weirdest things I've ever experienced was when I was in New York, and I was in a cab from Newark Airport, which is in New Jersey, to Manhattan, and I had an Indian cab driver, and when he found out I was from Australia, he goes, oh, do you like Brett Lee and do you like Adam Gilchrist? And I was like, I'm in America right now. Like,
That's
How
good.
bizarre.
They love Brett Lee. So Brett Lee is probably like more famous over in India for his like Bollywood stuff now.
Oh, yeah.
So and I think my sister kissed him.
Yeah, you've told me that before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that before or after he released a single with 6 and Out?
I don't know. I don't like thinking about it because
Is it that whole thing where he's more famous in India than really he is here? At the
easily.
same, he's massive here, right? But over
Yes.
there, it'd be
very good cricketer over here, but with the population over there and stuff like Bollywood.
and the
He's
passion
done-
they have for celebrities.
Yeah.
Definitely. Hey, it's Radio Ratings Day today. The day that we are recording is Tuesday. We thought we'd talk about it, Maddie. It's the last one of the year. There's a lot of important things, and we know that your brother worked in radio for a very long time, so you know a lot about the industry, but it's great to take it all apart because it's the first time I can kind of do it here and do it objectively. And
Do you feel relaxed?
I didn't know it was ratings day until I saw an email from Radio Info saying it's ratings day.
Were you considered still part of this survey?
No,
or had you
they've
finished?
had 3 since I've gone.
Oh, time's flying. Lots of Corona fun.
Do I feel relaxed?
Like knowing that you're not under pressure
Yeah,
to,
but I never really took it too seriously, ratings. I was always of the belief of if you're doing everything that your boss tells you to do, that's all you can control because you can see. I think we've briefly touched on this before. Like if Maddie, if I'm your boss and I'm saying this is what the language needs to sound like on the air. This is the competition we're doing. This is the breakfast show sells. And you're going, great, I'm ticking all those boxes. Yeah. And the ratings are shit. Then you go, I've done everything that was asked of me.
It's not on you. Yeah.
In workday, like from 9 till 3 or 4, it's really not a reflection of the announcer. Like, yes, there is an element of that. Like, if you have a personality which can draw people in and you're easy to listen to and you're not a wanker.
Yeah.
Great. That's why I never got good ratings. So,
it was the wanker thing, wasn't
it? 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, they said it was awkward to do it on the air. So the music strategy, if that's poor, people are turning off. If there's too many ads on, people are turning off. I'm noticing that as a listener now where you're not really connected to it. It's not a production thing or how it sounds. It's what you connect to. So the pressure really is on the program directors to make those decisions. When it comes to a breakfast show where it's probably more content based, yes, that is important and it is more reflective on the show because here's a song I don't like. All I need to do is get through it and I'll get back to my favourite show. I do a burp every episode.
You really do. At least, I nearly just chugged a bloody Scotch thing because I thought it was Booze Team Men.
Yeah, no,
but
we're going to do another Booze Team Men very soon, guys, because we haven't had one in the studio for a while. Actually, I can do a Booze Team Men on Friday if you guys can. Anyway, doesn't matter.
All right, good. So, no.
Let's keep talking.
What time?
All right. So, Andy, what was your take on radio ratings? The day, the lead up, the reaction, the changeover afterwards?
Took me a few years to get over the emotional attachment, like what you just said, because you get sucked into it every time. Like there's so much pressure.
8 a year, Maddie. There's eight come out a year.
Right.
So there was always the pressure from programming or the program director to be the best you possibly can, and they're always chopping and changing depending on what information or research that had happened before the survey had come out.
Yes.
There's like the companies everywhere that get paid big money to go and do like focus groups and research fucking tasks and stuff to find out more information before the survey comes out.
Yep. And the research groups are basically like, now tell us everything you love about the station and then tell us what you don't like. And I'll go,
and then it's like a grading system from that basically.
What was the show that your brother was on?
With Michael and Haley.
Michael Haley.
Yeah. So what they would do is they would sit the people down and go, what do you like about Burjo? What don't you like about Haley?
Yeah.
What do you like about Burjo? And they would come out with these random ass scores. It's pretty devastating for the announcers if they saw them and they weren't great.
But they're called perceptuals.
Yeah, that's right.
And they have like, you, Maddie, you are very well liked.
Is this feedback given to the guys?
Nope.
It's not. Nope. So it's just bosses.
It's bosses.
Unless you got a very angry boss and they want to really bring you back down to earth because you're a talent.
Yeah. But they will massage it in a way to then go, all right, so we know that Matt isn't liked.
Yeah.
So we need to make him more likable.
Okay. And then they'll just tweak the show around doing that.
Yeah. They'll start doing competitions about you and your family because they want your family to be the major point of people starting to listen to you. Sort of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It took me a few years to get over the emotional attachment because every time I thought it was always about me.
Yep.
But like Jared said, it isn't. It really is. It's got nothing to do with us. And then the more that you look into the whole way that surveys are done and when the survey companies would come to town and explain how they do surveys so we understood a bit more about it, you would find out that it's not anything emotional towards you or anything like that. And also, it's all a big fucking rort, and we'll get that into that very shortly.
Are the companies that come and do them, are they impartial? Like they're not from SA? Or?
Well, they're paid. Like they're basically paid to do the perceptions, I think.
Yeah. Like they get paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it's the whole survey analytics industry, right? They're massive. They do TV, they do radio, they do all the in-bits and in-between as well, shopping and stuff like that. So when it came to the actual survey day, I know I was always relaxed because no matter what would happen, it would happen, and if it was great, would go out and get hammered in the afternoon. If it was bad, would get cold pizza for lunch. That was pretty much what happened.
Is that right?
Until the latter few years, we'll just get cold pizza every time. That's what happened. So,
Correct.
There was always a budget issue, or no one could do contra or something like that.
Pizza, not party.
Yeah, that's right. But back in the early days, allegedly one of the GMs told us in a meeting. He goes,
I love the allegedly.
He goes like, we made sure that we had paid our extra dues to the company to look after the surveys, should you say. Because what would happen is when the survey company came to town a few years later and explained how they actually work out the surveys, because they send out books, they get people to fill out books, they then work that into some sort of result, right? So they, one person equals 300 or something like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
But what would happen is if you've got someone that, say, works at a radio station, they would fill out the book 100%, like for that radio station. But it's like a uni student getting too high marks in a class compared to the other classes. Okay. They then have to average it out and bring up. So if Triple M gets 50, which is fucking ridiculous, and then all these other stations are getting like 10s, they start to average them out and bring Triple M down.
Right.
It's all a bit sus when you start looking real deep into it.
Yeah. But the thing is, every station uses it. So
that's right. It's an industry. It's an industry thing. Yeah.
Which I think it'll be interesting if they said from tomorrow the rating system, which is literally ticking a piece of paper in a book. And we are all time poor, remember? So we look at our smartphones and everything. If they turn it into a digital thing where they did it via listening, via apps, via social, everything, it would change everything.
Yeah, if there was a technology that could work in a transmission, so as we listen to radio now, which sends out a little ping and works out who's listening to the radio and when and how many times and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. That'd be, it would fucking shut down the whole industry. I think. Because some stations would have none, but some stations that would usually survey poor may have a shit ton of people listening to them. That sort of thing, like a cult following.
Yeah, one of my favourite things on Ratings Day was seeing how some bosses polished turds.
Oh, yeah, it was so good.
So it's basically you sit down and you have the press. So you get the book at 8:30 and it's not released until 9. So if you're doing a breakfast show, you're on the air when you get it.
You're peaking a little bit.
You peak a little bit if you go up. I never...
But it's also a rough show before that because everyone knows they haven't slept well the night before.
You get
the first 2.5 hours of that show is shit house. Because they're all freaking out and angry.
Exactly. And you go it does change. With some bosses, it changes from like the happiest morning in the world to the angriest afternoon, and then everything that you were saying was brilliant the day before is shit the next day just because of it's quite reactive instead of playing the long game. And we see now in radio, there's not many opportunities to play the long game. People want instant ratings. That's what it is. That's why a lot of announcers are recycled now, because they have names and they can draw in profile. Dave Hughes, for example, has been on radio for so long in comparison to putting untried people on the air that don't necessarily last that long because advertisers want to make money straight away and they want
that Netflix effect, the whole instant thing.
Exactly. So we would have a ratings book come out, and then the bosses would stand up and present it to the staff. Now, looking back on it, the boss that I had at 5AA was probably my favourite out of every one of them, and I had a few over 16 years. But what I liked, and you would have seen this because you're in some of these meetings as well, when you have to deliver good news, it is very easy to do it to staff, and they get all excited. But when you deliver bad news, it is how you polish a turd.
Yeah.
And what Craig did really well was, he didn't have notes in front of him and read off a piece of paper. He engaged with the team, broke it down, where he's disappointed, where the goals are. And first of all, you go, I'm really disappointed with this. This is what we're working on. Yeah. This is where we can grow.
That's the whole thing. You have to earn the trust of the people that you work with.
Definitely.
And you being honest about the actual results is showing them that you're not being fake to them, and they're not going to be stabbed in the back in the near future. Yeah. So they'll appreciate what you're saying to them, even if it is bad news.
Yeah, they need to know that you trust them, and that they're guiding the ship, and they're not rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but then you'd get some who, when it came to turd polishing, would get up there and go, Guys, it's a great result today. And just imagine you've gone down a fucking shitload. It's a great result today, team. Everybody, I'm just going to let you know that we have gone up in 60 to 65 males.
Who love budgies. Right, so they're really searching. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
all right. But what about the overall rating? Don't worry about that, because also women with red hair who live in Salisbury love us.
Love us is what you said there. So nothing to do with the radio. That was a different survey.
It's hard. You can only work with the results that you are given. But what I find now, as a listener, you mentioned the Netflix thing before, Andy. I think we live in an on-demand world.
Yep.
So if I caught the train into the city, right, and I go, awesome. So I watch a TV show on my phone. If I'm on Stan, I'm watching. If you guys have not seen Frontline before, which is an old show from the 90s.
Oh, yeah, from the ABC.
It is hilarious watching it as an adult. There was a piss take of like a current affairs show. You have Stan?
Yeah.
Watch an episode of Frontline, you two, and you will just lose it, because it's all stuff that we aren't allowed to say now.
That's by those working dog guys, right?
Guys, but it's very good. So anyway, we live in an on-demand society. So if I didn't like that, I can walk through Random Mall and listen to Spotify.
Yeah.
We need connection and instant gratification in a way. So I think. Sorry, I just kicked you then. I think looking at radio now, and I'm by no means an expert. I've been doing radio for 20 years, but nobody's ever an expert, because I've said to you once in the Wisdom with Walshy, it's the message shouldn't change, but the way you communicate it does. We need to have connection with people now more than ever. Localism is key. The Ali Clark, who does ABC Breakfast Radio, a lot of people listen to ABC because there's no ads. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Because they hate ads.
Well, it was also the ABC's a trusted government-run thing that they can trust to listen to.
That's exactly right.
Well, she was on...
she was on Triple M. She was on Triple M.
Yeah.
And then...
Mix, that's...
So her doing that, if you have a listen now, so Nova, for example, the station I don't work for, they went down in Workday, where they have announcers that are in Melbourne pretending they're in Adelaide.
Yeah. The Barton.
Exactly.
Yeah. Gouger Street,
yeah.
got it right. Sorry, guys.
You got it right.
Maybe you're in Henley, maybe you're not.
Having I don't know if this is boring our listeners, but I think it's good to give insight into this, because it's part of our lives. Having connection to people with localism, interesting stories, and things that you can relate to. Amazing. Competitions need to sound achievable.
Yep.
They can't be... if a radio station is giving away a house, you've spoken about this, Andy, all the hoops you have to jump through to get to that 1 in 200 chance you've got of winning a house, which, hey, would you rather... me put you in the draw to win, have a 1 in 100 chance of winning $1 million, or I'll give you 10 grand right now. You're taking the 10 grand straight away, because it's instant gratification. So what you can get now as a listener and how you can connect with the audience, I think that is key to keeping people in. And also they call it TSL in radio, the time spent listening. If someone's getting in their car, tell them what they've missed and what they're going to miss out on if they leave right now.
Yeah.
I think we have too many people trying to reinvent the wheel and going, this competition's bigger than the other one, bigger than the other one, bigger than the other one. People can see through it now.
Yeah.
So be simple, connect with South Australia. We're a very different radio market to any other state in Australia. But for me, it's that while we live in on-demand world, we can still have a place for radio, but you got to connect with people. They have to listen and go, oh, that Andy guy on the radio, he's just like me, so I like him. Well, you look at your favourite TV shows, like if it's, you both watch Entourage?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so you can identify out of your friendship group or who you are out of the Entourage guys, right? Because you connect with them. Yep. It's all about connection. I know I've ranted on, but I think I'm making sense.
Do you know, it's funny that you said something before that really stood out was, I think in society, people and businesses worry too much about competing with other businesses and other people and stuff like that. And one of the big ones is I had a lot of time, obviously, on the couch, and I was watching the US election for a fair portion of it. And one thing I noticed that was Biden and Trump, through all their debates, all they did was shit can each other. They didn't tell the people what they could do as president for that country.
Yeah.
It was more, the focus was purely on talking shit about the other guy.
Yes.
So there's a bit of a lesson there. Like if you just worry about your own backyard and perfect what you're doing and get your craft right, you're going to be successful.
Well, that's why the whole podcasting radio thing's been so awesome from my point of view is the fact that everyone in the podcasting world actually works together. They don't work against each other apart from the press box. But and that's as far as I know from you boys. I know nothing about it apart from that. But everyone helps each other.
Yeah.
Whereas radio, I mean, apart from, if you saw someone from a Triple M at the pub, you'd still talk to them or whatever.
Some do.
Some are funny about it,
more like programming and sales.
Yeah, some of them especially. Are very funny about it. And then there's a difference between, I've always thought, and I like going up and saying hello to people from other radio stations, but there's some stations that it's drilled into. Remember, there was a guy we worked with who had a target of an announcer from another station. There's a difference between being competitor focused and being competitor aware. Right. If you're competitor focused, all of your decisions are based on what the competitor's doing.
Well, they're reaction, aren't they? It's a reaction.
All that it is, mate.
And we witnessed that with PDs would come through and the different types of way that they managed things where they were more concerned about what was going on across the road than actually in their own backyard and making their station better.
Exactly.
It happened all the time and it was just, and the results actually were shown that was obviously not the right way to go because you're too busy worrying about that shit.
Exactly.
You lose focus. What's going on.
You lose focus on what you're about.
Like we had to listen to other stations. Some of the things that I tried to implement, which didn't really happen, I would say, like if I said, hey, listen to this other show with a critical ear, I would actually go, well, let's listen to what they do well.
Yeah.
Who cares about what they do shit?
Yeah.
Because let's play on our strengths, but hear what they do well and go, yeah, cool, we're going to tip our hat to them and go, how do we be better?
Yeah.
And there's, I think that today, we can wrap up the radio chat by saying the last ratings of the year, this is the most important one right now because there's no ratings until I'm guessing like March or something.
Yeah, something crazy.
So the sales team have this ratings book to sell over summer into the new year.
Yeah.
And the FM battle is going to be massive next year. So it's all about that connection. Here's a hot tip for you. Now, I might be incorrect.
All right, three phones, Walsh.
Okay. Okay, so
Let me get my sports bet account.
It's already fixed, guys.
The drive show, which I loved listening to, Kate, Tim and Marty. Like, I loved that drive show. Hamish and Andy, I used to absolutely love. Kate, Tim and Marty are so different, their show, that it was brilliant. Marty left. His last day was on the 15th of September, I believe. Now, as soon as he left, I thought, surely you're not going to leave a pretty cushy job that he had and go into nothing. My tip, and it has been from this time, is that he will be going to Triple M in Melbourne.
Wow.
And it's the 8th of December today. I reckon in a week from today it will be announced because that is a 3-month non-compete contract where if he announces it, then that's not funny. I reckon have a listen. And Triple M Perth haven't announced their breakfast show. Lawrence Mooney does Triple M in Sydney, and Brisbane I don't think have a consistent show right now. I think someone's left their show. Yes, someone's left their show.
Yeah.
I would be of the belief that Marty is going to do the show either just in Melbourne or networked with Sydney and Melbourne. And I think Marty doing that would be an absolute game changer because he is outstanding.
He's good.
I might be wrong, though. Who knows?
Yeah. It could be. And that's the main thing.
We'll see. One last thing. When you were saying about how you take the good things from competitors and opposition and stuff like that. When I was playing footy at Glenelg, David Noble, who's North Melbourne, he was coaching us there, and we had a pretty ordinary run for a few years there at the Bay and didn't win many games. And that was through the middle of Central's winning just about everything.
Yeah.
And we actually went out and watched Central's train.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Glenelg Footy Club went and watched Central District's
but
train.
That's good though, because it's all like learning and getting better. How did you go DJing? Could you find it easy to look at a competitor and go, geez, that's a good song? Like MCing, I can watch other MCs and go, you are a great MC. But did you ever come across people that you're like, oh, I like this, but I don't want to like it because you're a dick?
There's a lot of that. But that comes down to the person, not fear of where I stand in amongst everything.
Yeah, that's right. So because you were so far ahead anyway. So there you go.
Well, you might be making a comeback on the DJ circuit alongside. What was your DJ name? Did you have a couple?
I had a few.
Go through them.
Okay, so I had back in the day it was Andy M. Then I went with Andy Martin for a bit. Andy Mosh was one.
Andy Mosh.
One guy tried to change my name to Velvet Anderson. I think he wanted me to play house music. I think that's where that was going.
Velvet Anderson.
I did Vodka Bar under the Progressive House Mafia, which is a few tunes around the place.
Don't mind that.
And
Velvet Anderson.
yeah, Velvet Anderson's pretty sexy, isn't it?
That could also fit into the game that we're about to play as
We need
well.
to get a promo for Velvet Anderson. That could go on your adult website that you created.
Yeah,
That could be an adult website itself.
could be.
VelvetAnderson.com.
Oh, I'm just going to buy that now. And then there was one other, I think it was, I wanted to go Mexican for a bit. So Andy Martinez was one that was floating around the place.
That's kind of like us now. I reckon we're making those connections.
They maybe were the same person. Who knows?
Press box. I wanted to just flag this. So, two things. Sam Tugwell from Pressbox Ep had his kind of like hosting debut on the weekend. He does a cricket show on, I think it's Sunday nights, but on Sunday during the day, he's hosting the Sunday roast with Ken Cunningham. So basically the youngest guy and the oldest guy in the station together.
It's like one of those old rich man hooks up with some chick who's 18 and she's waiting for him to die to take everything. Is that what's pretty much going on there?
But he did a very good job. I listened to it driving and it was great. But the funny thing is, so we call him Tuggers, but KG calls him Tugger. And I reckon there's a huge difference, and it was quite funny because they were talking about I think they were talking about the Sandful after they spoke to Paul Thomas, who's now the coach of Central District. Speaking of which, Matty, but then they were talking about players and drafts, but then KG came out with this thing, and I almost crashed my car because of what he calls him. Yeah. KG was trying to tell him that he's a romantic. He was like, "Oh yeah, Sam, yeah, I'm a romantic, Tugger." And you can hear, and Tuggers is like, yeah, absolutely, you are.
Can you imagine if he said that to you? You wouldn't have held it together.
No, I wouldn't have held it together. But they did a great. I really enjoyed listening to their podcast last week because they all took the piss out of one another. DJ Jace Kemp is going to be DJing the main stage at Adelaide Uni on New Year's Eve, which you heard some of his promo videos and stuff. But then the boys came up with this amazing idea, and this very it was like it was. Like original idea where they suggested that DJ Jace plays a set at an establishment where they could get their listeners together. And while I'm listening to this original idea, I'm thinking, geez, I mean...
Was it a brewery?
Well,
as well?
Potentially. So they're thinking like, so... We've spoken about this on every one of our Best Team Men episodes
for the last 2 years.
That we are going to do that, and they've just come up with this idea going, hey, we should do this, guys. It reminds me of the kind of the multi they stole. But then...
Save some originality for us, Pressbox.
But then I've messaged Tuggers. I'm like, hey, great idea, mate. Then it's like, Jace... thinks he can organise the Alma.
Oh, you mean the place that I organised for us pre-COVID?
I'm just going, what's going on? And then I had a breakdown because I can't ever walk back in the Alma because I DJ there for a year in front of 0 people. So it's going to give me some PTSD.
Yeah, like MC the R&B nights on the Thursday night for a whole year to know people as well.
Yeah.
But their Alizés are pretty good. So what is going on for us for the end of year Christmas party? Because I don't know about you guys, I want to get everyone together.
Yeah, I think the schedule needs to go, first of all, us with Con. Us with Con is, first of all, restrictions in Adelaide are being eased back a bit, so we can now really drill down.
Apparently from Monday you can stand and have a beer now.
Fantastic. So we need to stand before Christmas. We are going to do that with Con.
Freed that up for everyone.
Thank you very
much. Put that in the calendar, guys. Here we
Dr.
go.
Matthew Spurrier right there. We really appreciate that. We're going to catch up with Con and Lena if she wants to come, but it's going to be a bit of bloke chat, but that's all right, mate. You know what I mean, Lena. You're a legend, mate. Bloody legend.
By the way, Con's put us back on his scrolling screen.
No, he did do that. He did do that. And you know what was really...
a short rotation for his own business there, is that what you're saying?
That photo with Popey and Danny, which was great. And then he sent me the CCTV footage of them having a photo. I'm like, what are the CCTV did you look at? And do you go to that massage parlour next door with that, my friend?
Yes, it's known as a video trophy as well.
Yeah, so look, we are going to get together. I think it'd be good to do it with the press box ep guys, but it was our idea, so just fucking relax, guys. All right?
It'll be nice to have the press box ep guys at our Christmas party.
Yeah, it'd be great. They are invited.
Side note, because you now no longer DJ officially for other places, can you now become part of the Best Team Men DJs and we just do some shit together? Like we just
great idea.
Best
Team Men
when we did the Palais and it was just us getting overpaid.
That was the greatest.
To do a couple of hours of a bit of cruisy stuff. And the other guys.
I did the Palais once, and I thought I was being overpaid until I saw some of the demographic, and then I knew it was hazard pay.
No, we were getting paid a shit. Well, we were getting paid a shitload to do it because we got paid through Nova, and then the other DJs rolled up, and you could tell they were really pissed on their $50 an hour.
Yeah, right. Because Andy and I had been in the production booth at Nova, and we made the 2-hour mix that we just pressed play to go.
We were literally David Guetta with no bloody electrical cords in our gear.
It was very good. Now, Andy, I'm looking over there. You've got audio.
Yes.
Wait, is this something you haven't told us about?
Yeah, I got excited last time, and that's it. So, the last episode that we zoomed in and shit was not great for all of us because
we spent 4 hours with Andy going, "Can you hear this? Can you hear this?"
And now I'm sitting there, hung as balls, needing to take a dump and have a nap.
Like,
I'm having a great time. Because then we had someone on Twitter say, "Was Andy okay? He was. I didn't say much last round." I'm thinking, I didn't say much last round because I was trying not to vom.
Well, he obviously missed the story about me behind the scenes in the nightclub with some piercings. Head back there if you want to hear another story.
A couple of Daniel Pierces on your Barbara Candelabras.
So I had actually made a couple of intros.
Great.
That I was going to play. So I might play them now if that's okay.
Oh, I'd love for you to do that.
The charts haven't changed just yet because the results come out at some point today, but we haven't seen them yet. But
Ratings day.
I'll play the intro that I made. It's quite simple, but yet effective, right?
Love it.
Where do we chart in the world, Bestie Men? Hey!
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah,
love that. Yeah, so we're still the same. Doing very well across the world. Let's just say that. Then, if you guys get your phones out right now, head to ozcastnetwork.com.
I can.
Shit. Oscar.
Sorry, I just opened my Safari and what I was looking at for our next game.
You're on Lobster Tube, aren't you?
What's Lobster Tube?
I don't know.
What's that?
Okay.
My wife said she wanted seafood for dinner, so I'm like, I'll just.
Oh, yeah.
It's.
Yeah,
have you guys not heard of that?
Yeah, no.
Lobster.
So ozcastnetwork.com, go to the shop. Holy shit. There's a lot of lobster there, isn't there? Holy moly. Someone's eating for Christmas. There's quite a buffet there.
That one's definitely not cooked.
No. The other one was, though. Had been eaten by the whole family. The whole bloody footy team went in there. Ozcastnetwork.com. Go to the shop. Head down to Best Team Men.
Man, I'm still
you are. Shop. Sorry, do you want to continue streaming for a bit longer?
Okay.
Yeah, so shop.
Yep, shop.
Then Best Team Men, scroll down. Or BTM. The old BTS, all that sort of stuff. You know.
Oh, yeah. I still like.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I like that
Before you say anything, I've got an intro for it, okay?
Okay.
New merch. Yes, we have got brand new merch.
We've got brand new merch.
I like that better
Yeah.
than the first one. The first one kind of triggers me a little bit because it reminds me of someone that I used to work with.
All right. No worries. So, yeah,
Reminds me of a guy who's a real fuckwit that I used to work with. Not sure if you've met him. His name's Velvet Underground.
Velvet Underground. Velvet Andy. Shaved velvet. Velvet Anderson is what it was going to be, yeah, g'day guys. Check out this brand new fresh hit.
Velvet Anderson.
So what we've got up there now is we've got a couple of T-shirts. I'm going to only put them up there for a limited time.
Party.
But we've got a party T-shirt, and we've also got I'm Lyndon. T-shirts up there at the moment too.
Gosh.
So there you go.
Unreal.
Party. The colour of Party is awesome.
Isn't it?
That's so good.
Can we still get the Run BTM one?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, just keep on going there, brother.
No, it's not on there.
It's not on there?
Oh, I love the colour of
Page 2?
the
there you
page
go.
2.
Hey.
the tanny kind of hoodie. Is really
was it Con's son that wore it to the basketball?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that looks sick.
And I love how you've put an image of yourself for the tank top with the big muscles.
Yeah, that was me back in the day, Orange Theory. Thank you very much.
That's great.
Yeah, so there you go.
Good Christmas presents, guys.
Yes, you won't get them in time, though. 2 weeks' notice.
Damn it.
Well, actually, hang on. Is it how many weeks till Christmas? Three, yeah. Oh, yeah, no, order it now. Yeah.
What else you got?
Do you want to play Athlete or Porn Star?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's play
that.
Here we go, here.
Athlete or porn star.
Who said all porn? Was that you?
Yeah, that's all me. Apart from the, that's from that yellow.
Give us that all porn star voice. Turn the music down, and I need to hear you do that. Cold.
Can I listen to it again so I
Yes,
get back in the groove?
Yep.
Athlete or porn star.
Porn Star. Is that better?
No, not really.
Love that. All right, so this is a game where I rattle off a name and Andy has to tell me if they are an athlete or a porn star.
For example, the swimmer, Misty Hyman.
Swimmer.
Okay. First one, Dean Windass.
Athlete?
He's an athlete.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Work.
Well done.
What sort of athlete is he?
He's a porn star.
Baseball coach.
Okay.
Peter Lecoq.
So in French, his name is Peter the Cock. Good music.
Is it PETA?
No.
Okay.
It'd be different if it was Pater Lecoq.
It'd be amazing. I would say porn star.
Athlete.
Oh,
no.
Frigid. I don't know why I didn't swear.
No, I think I swore like 10 seconds in. I'm not going to swear this time. I'm not going to swear this time.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, fucking welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
This is why I told that person from the radio station, maybe don't listen to this. What we This one's all right, though.
Chris Strokes.
You sure
I'm
does?
going to have to say porn star for that one.
Porn star.
Yeah, boy.
John David Booty.
Oh, yeah.
See, it sounds too cheesy to be a porn star.
Does it, though?
Oh, God, now you've said that. Booty. Booty. Sports person.
Correct.
Yeah, boy.
Last one.
Oh, God.
Eric Everhard.
Well, if he's like any other male that I know, he would not be. So I'm going to go. And that's not out of me doing research. That's just shit. Porn star? Yes. Yeah, that was good because the music just ran
You
out.
just need to make the bit a bit longer. That was a great game. Intro was fantastic. Oh, hey, we need to put some people on the Plackaroony.
Yeah.
People have been taking photos, zooming in, being a bit concerned that they're not on the plaque, so we can chuck some people up, team. It's been a while since we've put people on the plaque. Now, this plaque is displayed at Brighton Trophy Centre, which I actually think it should stay there because it's displayed.
Yeah, you know what? If you want to go see it, go to the Brighton Trophy Centre.
Exactly.
Go buy something.
Yeah. And I think what will work with Con and Lena going into the new year is if they can give us some... That was definitely not me.
Yep. Sorry, guys. We still on?
No. We can give them, promote some deals that they're doing, and obviously some trophy deals.
What's going on?
No, I don't know, but I just want to, push these guys. They've supported us, apart from last week when they took us off the signage, but they've been very good supporters of us. And it's the same as Stavros. Like over Christmas, it's going to be stressful for a lot of people going into the new year with COVID. If the restrictions stay the way they are and you've got a big family and you can't see them as much over Christmas, or if you're struggling with work, if you need to get your head right, go and see Steve the Pirate. Physically, he can take care of you, so to speak, but mentally as well to look after your headspace. He was instrumental for me last year. I loved it. It sounds like I'm saying
It's a fair while ago, last year. That was
nearly 12 months ago.
Yeah, it was.
Have you seen it for a while? Or?
No, I have. But last year, for me, last year was a pretty intense environment for him to just basically talk me through my headspace and stuff. It's amazing. And I think we need to all take more care of that. So go see him. Shifty Lizard if you're having a drink. And allegedly Odd Sock Mob will find out what happens in the next 7 days.
That's going to be interesting.
So do we have some people to put on the
Yeah, so I want to put on the plaque Jack. Now, Jack is an absolute guy. I want to promote his podcast as well. So Jack's surname is Levitt. If you want to follow him on social media, Jack C. Levitt. And he has a podcast, which he does with a mate, where they talk about mental health a lot, which I think is really important. It's called Flynn's Talk. So you can go online and have a listen to it. They speak to guests every episode, but it's really insightful. And the story behind them starting the podcast is really powerful, and I recommend you have a listen to it. He's amazing. The stuff he does for Cricket Australia is brilliant. He loves podcasting as well, so might connect you guys, Andy.
Yeah.
Flynn's Talk, have a listen to it, and follow Jack. You are on the plaque.
There you go. Mine is a guy called Josh Beck. Greatest electrician around. Let's just say that. JBT Electrical.
Is that cash for comment, that
It
one?
really
I was going to say, what makes him...
He's a...
The $1,000 he gave me, sir.
Yeah. You know what I love most about that?
No.
We have someone on the plaque who listens to the show and does a Powerhouse podcast. He's just been pushed down a rung. It's
Oh, yeah, I
two,
forgot
Josh.
that.
Sorry.
Josh is amazing.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for listening, sir.
Yeah, good. Matt?
Cool. I'm putting a guy by the name of Jesse Fitzgerald
Yeah,
on
great.
the plaque. So he's one of the...
Sounds made up.
Yeah, it does.
it's definitely not.
You call him, let me guess, you call him Fitzy.
Yeah.
Jester.
Jester. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you like about him?
He's
Eyes?
quite attractive. No, he's one of the footy boys that down at Yankalilla.
Yep.
So he's getting around us. And
How's the pre-season for the Yankalilla Mud Sharks going?
don't call them that because my Ponga Mudlarks are the big rival.
What the fuck?
So, yeah.
What is a mudlark?
I don't know. That's why they...
Do they call them the Smellies?
why they're no good.
Like my Ponga? Oh, the fucking Smellies are here.
Oh, my
Jesus
Ponga.
Christ.
Yeah, they're no good. We've only had one session last Thursday. So
And what about footy?
that starts tonight.
Yeah. Because
You're going to get onto the balls?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
I'll
what
leave.
about footy?
Yeah. Just look for me pumping up the balls in my... anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say about fishing balls, but let's just move on. How much downtime do you guys have between the end of season and the start?
Well, it was a bit different this year because the season went a bit longer. So normally, if you make the finals, your season wraps up in about September, and you kick off December. And,
Is it still pretty cruisy until like early next year?
Yeah, so we'll come back January 19, and
Everyone drinks up until
pretty
probably
much
April.
just gets as unfit as they possibly can, and then they got to put in a heap of work before the season starts in April.
All right, boys.
Yes.
Let's wrap this up with the two riddles. You may have heard these,
Oh, here we go.
but I've absolutely lost it, okay? The first one is this. What is the difference between tuna, a piano, and glue?
No.
You can't fuck a piano?
No, I don't know. You can't.
Okay, ready?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
The difference between tuna, a piano, and glue is you can tune a piano, but you can't piano a tuna.
What's the glue?
I knew you'd get stuck on that.
Yeah.
God.
Okay, the next one. The next one before Con takes us out.
Yeah.
If you are American when you go into the toilet and Australian when you come out of the toilet, what are you whilst you're in the toilet?
This is going to be good, isn't it,
Yeah,
guys?
it's going to be real good. I'm anxious. What are you going to be when you're in the toilet? Busy?
No. American going in,
Yeah.
Australian coming out. What are you while you're in there?
I don't know.
It's going to make a lot of sense, isn't it?
European.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, cool, bro. Hey, I got one. I got one. What's better than eating a mandarin?
Follow us on the socials, please, at Best Team Men. Buy your merchandise for Christmas. Thanks to our sponsors, Con and Lena, Brighton Trophy Centre, Mind and Movement, Shifty Lizard.
Brought to you by the Brighton Trophy Centre. Cups, trophy, badges, medals. Yeah, we